So just tell me a little bit about how you got involved with Angels Among Us.
I got involved with Angels Among Us when a smaller rescue I worked with closed down. I come with a lot of experience. I've done everything from pulling from shelters to adoption approvals, all aspects of rescue. Angels is such a large rescue. There was such a place for me everywhere. And they allow us to grow. They allow us to work and thrive and make us better as a whole. And each of us, we may work independently, but we come together and we stand united.
I got involved with dog rescue by adopting a dog from Angels Among Us. He looked just like my dog that had recently passed. And it didn't take long after adopting him that I realized that I wanted to get involved. They have a Facebook page that I followed, and I kept seeing dog after dog, and my heart just went out. I had to do something.
We have a very large Facebook following. We have 800,000 people. We find the dog and we put him in the home. We currently have 850 fosters right now. We tend to pull the more high risk because smaller rescues can't afford it. Our vet bills run between $150,000 and $185,000 a month.
A month?
A month. And we survive on donations and grants. And we'll get kill lists from shelters. They tell us who's going down. And then we also get pleas from shelter workers and directors and just the general public. People will go online and they'll put money toward a dog. They'll pledge money. All kinds of dogs. Perfect dogs, not so perfect dogs. They all have a story. And they all ended up alone without a voice and no choice.
The biggest obstacle right now for any rescue anywhere is additional foster homes. Even if it's just 2 weeks, many dogs get adopted within 2 weeks. The biggest rewards is seeing that skinny, scared foster grow into a fit, loving animal that finds his forever home where he will be cherished as a family member.
There's a lot of people that, they love dogs, they want to help, but they don't want to get emotionally involved. What do you say to those people?
If your heart's too big and you get too emotional and you don't want to work with dogs because you take home 37, that rescue can use you in many other ways.
I try and talk to them and see where that resistance comes from that keeps them from stepping over that line and saying, yes, I can. They can volunteer. They can answer the phone. They can send emails. They can sell merchandise at adoption events.
We've become an online society. Dogs are the best way to bring people together. And any rescue will say, thank you. We are all volunteer. We have kids and lives and jobs and, dang it, jobs. And we do this because it's the right thing to do. And the more people that we reach and we educate makes a difference in the life of a dog. One dog, that's all it takes. And then they're going to tell somebody, and it's going to grow.
Tell us now about Cash Money.
Cash Money is a dog that came from Etowah Valley Animal Shelter in Cartersville, Georgia. I had a house fire, and I lost my golden retriever in my lab. They didn't make it out. And there I was in my pajamas, I admit it, on Pet Finders. And I typed it up, and boom, there they were. Him and his 3 brothers came from a backyard breeder, and they were 4.5, 5 months old. He felt they weren't cute enough anymore, and so he was going to get rid of his product and shoot them. So his neighbor said, well, why don't we just take him to the shelter? He is what's in shelters. If you take the time and you push away that vision of what you have to have, it takes a little longer. We have to be patient. But my rule is dogs find you. If we stop being consumers and start being more human and compassionate, dogs are going to come into your life, and you can't have life without them.
Can you talk to us about the whole movement of spay and neuter and how you advocate for it?
Sure. Spay and neuter is a very important process. Rescues in Georgia cannot allow dogs to leave that are not fixed. It's a must. Shelters are the same way.
If you adopt from Angels Among Us, your adoption fee includes your spay and neuter for your pet. There are several low-cost spay and neuter clinics available in the area that we do refer people to.
They really push because the less dogs that are born, the less dogs come through their doors and out in a garbage bag.
Can you talk about that? I don't think people know what happens when the dog doesn't make it.
Some shelters will move dogs to a specific set of kennels. They'll euthanize in the kennel and then put them in a garbage bag outside the door of the kennel. It's a tragedy when it happens that way. There's no respect for life. But they do. If anyone believes their dogs are not being put to sleep in shelters, I invite any of them to come down on kill day. They can put 30 dogs down. Some places euthanize every day.
What is your perception of the canine condition the way you see it today in Georgia?
Here in Georgia, the canine condition definitely needs all the help it can get, especially in the rural areas. Education, number one. Spay, neuter, how they could help, just general conditions of how animals should be kept and taken care of.
Our dogs never stop coming. Our public seems to be more educated, but not enough. I get calls every day where people don't really understand what rescue is. They don't understand how dogs get in shelters, especially purebreds. They can't figure that out. And unfortunately, we're a disposable society, and when it's not convenient, those dogs get put in shelters. And many, many people have the conception that shelters will help them get homes. And that's true for some dogs, but we kill 9,000 dogs a day in the United States by euthanasia because they're homeless. We have to get the word out, and that's going into the community and educating the public as well. People just don't know.
The abuse seems to be mostly focused toward the bully breeds. What is your experience with that?
There are many breeds of dogs that get abused. Small dogs, big dogs. Bully breeds, I think because they make the news, good or bad, they will make the news. There just seems to be the most cruelty toward that breed. We see dog fight bait dogs. They will steal dogs like labs, retrievers. People around where dog fighting rings are will get their dogs stolen out of their backyard. They will use cats. It doesn't matter to them. These fighters they don't care about life. They don't care about, it's profit. And then when they're done with the dog, they'll toss them, they'll shoot them, they'll do many other horrible things. And they also do that with the losing dog. It's the most heinous crime that you can commit with your eyes wide open.
This story made national news because I saw it out in LA in the local news. Tell us about Amico.
Amico was found on Memorial Drive. Without immediate rescue, he would be put to sleep. His injuries were very extensive and very painful. His tail had been degloved at the base down to the bone. Bone and raw nerves were exposed. He had ribs that were previously fractured, in addition to his degloved tail, a broken leg that we weren't sure that we were going to be able to save because it was broken at the head of the femur. It had to be pinned back together. He had multiple abrasions and cigarette burns on him. You see it mostly in the bully breeds, unfortunately.
The abuse.
The abuse, yes.
Yeah.
His advocate reached out to me. His advocate is a huge supporter of the bully breed and is responsible for Amico and Balasar and Treymor, who all have been my fosters, that I necessarily might not have picked for myself, but their plight was so extensive, they needed somebody.
Right. And how is Amico doing now?
Amico is doing great. He runs, he plays, he loves to chew his bone. Did you miss your mommy? Did you miss your mommy? You crazy little monkey.
So he still has some growing to do.
Yes,
Or no?
but
He's
I mean,
like a small pit.
he's a boxer mix, actually.
Oh, okay.
See the longer neck?
Oh.
So now tell me about Treymor, how you came to find out about him and how he came to Angels Among Us.
Treymor was found in Fulton County Animal Services. They reached out to us because he was so severely injured, we would be his only chance.
What were his injuries?
Treymor had been hit by a car. He had 2 broken rear legs and multiple fractures in his pelvis. He had 2 surgeries to pin his legs back together. It was not necessary to pin his pelvis, but now he has to go through PT, which he kind of enjoys. He's a little lazy, but...
Why, in your opinion, should the canine condition matter to the human condition?
Animals have no voice. They look to us for every need they have. They don't ask a lot. They ask for shelter, cold water, and food. And if we can't show compassion to an animal, it frightens me what lack of compassion we show toward our neighbors or toward people around us. And passing it on to our children is so important. We have to teach this generation that this is what matters. Life matters. All forms of life matter. Wildlife, dogs, cats, everything. And if we look at it with no regard, we're not giving them a set of values.
What does the love of a dog feel like to you?
Oh my gosh. It's all encompassing. There's nothing that can happen out there that they can't make up for. They're always there for you. They look to you for everything. They give you it's complete. Talk about compassion. You know, you left me for 12 hours and I drank out of the toilet and there was no dog food, but it's okay. I love you. And I ate your shoes while you were gone at work. But that's what it is. It's like walking into a hug. As corny as that sounds, they never let you down, and they will never stop loving you till their last breath.
When I don't know where to go, and I don't know where to turn to, I know at least that I got you. And when I'm feeling sad and lonely, and I need someone